They have a lot at their disposal now.
All right, we're getting ready to kick off here. Briscoe with the kickoff. And that one sails through the end zone. We have a flag on the field to start this one. Kick went out of bounds. So Florida State will start with good field position. Here's Thomas Castellanos. When we talked to Gus Malzahn, he told us this kid's a winner, a playmaker. He loves throwing it when it breaks down in the pocket. And Gus said he allows him to call any play, even he makes the bad ones look good. Gavin Sawchuk in the backfield with him. Sawchuk right up the gut, has a big hole, streaking down the sideline and tripped up inside the 25-yard line. An explosive play out of the gate for Florida State. 40-yard gain and a first down.
This starts up front. Luke Pettibon and Richard Leonard and these guards, they work really well in the double team to create space for the Sawchuk.
They toss it again to Sawchuk. He breaks a tackle. Gets down inside the 15-yard line. Kanan Williams finally brought him down, but Sawchuk running with ferocity. An 11-yard gain and a first down. Castellanos keeps another hole on the right side, and Castellanos dives forward inside the 5 to the 4-yard line. A gain of 7 on the play.
Really good read by Castellanos. As the defender comes over the edge, they take the running back away, and so he ends up carrying it out and picks up a large gain because of it.
Check that, a gain of 10, so first down and goal from the 4. Sawchuk in the end zone, touchdown. And just like that, Florida State strikes first. A 4-yard plunge for Sawchuk, and the Noles strike quickly.
You see here the identity of this drive is run, run, run. Get behind your best offensive player, Luke Pettibon, and he is going to create a pathway for you, young man. And Sawchuk picked up 7 because of it.
So only a minute 21 off the clock, 4 plays, 65 yards for the touchdown for Florida State. Extra point is up and good by Jake Weinberg. And Florida State gets it on the board first. Let's take a look at that first run that really set the table by Gavin Sawchuk. A 40-yard gain here, Rod.
The key is the double teams up front. These big men are moving the defensive line of Kent State. They got pushed out of their gaps, and they created a large hole in the middle of that defense, what contributed to that large gain.
So Florida State in their last 2 games, as now we kick this one off, touchdowns on 12 of their last 13 drives.
That is hard to do, and it's very impressive. It shows you the level of focus that this offense has, the details in which they play by to allow them to be that efficient from last game and then carrying it over into this game with a bye week.
So Weinberg will kick it off for Florida State. And now we'll see Tony White's defense coming out in just a sec. Wayne Harris and Darylis Clark set to receive for Kent State. And they'll begin their drive on their own 25-yard line. Drew DeShields, starting quarterback, got his first start last week, has had 3 ACL injuries. Got his first start against Buffalo. After his 3rd ACL injury, he came to Coach Mark Carney and presented him with a 50-point presentation on things to hold him accountable for in his return to the field. He checked all of them off, and he won their off-season workout award. And here he is starting in Tallahassee. We We highlighted the combination of DeShields and Wolford at the top of the broadcast. DeShields will sling it. He's mobile. He can move around the pocket as well as get outside of it. And he fumbles the snap right out of the gate and taken down at the 18-yard line. Justin Cryer unblocked, a 7-yard loss.
Justin Cryer off the edge makes a good play for this Florida State defense to start this game. And if you're Kent State, this is not the start that you want, especially on the road versus a team like Florida State.
Cryer, the junior from Katy, Texas, Royal High School, with the play there. DeShields on 2nd and 17. Pump fakes over the middle, complete. Back to the original line of scrimmage. That one to Wayne Harris, which is one of his favorite targets as well. Had 4 catches, 39 yards last week against Buffalo in an excruciating loss.
If Kent State wants to win today, they have to be effective on 3rd down. This is where Florida State's defense comes to life. 3rd downs, they're stingy. For you to win, you have to convert.
3rd and 9. Florida State bringing numbers. They throw to the outside to Wolford, but he's just short of the marker by a couple of yards. Where they go here on 4th down. Would you go here, Rod? Kind of in no man's land. Looks like they're staying on the field.
They are staying on the field, it looks like, but I would trust my defense.
Yep, they're going to punt. They thought about it.
It's a long game.
Yeah, they thought about it for a second.
You have to play the field position battle. I know your defense didn't do too well the first drive, but at the end of the day, there's a long game ahead of us, and you want Florida State to travel the length of the field.
So Jalen Lucas to receive for Florida State. Charlie Durkin, the punter. Now, Buffalo did block a punt last week against Kent State. And Florida State will back off on this one. Durkin over the head of Lucas. This one takes a Kent State bounce. And they save it before it gets in the end zone down to the 4-yard line. So we'll step aside. Good special teams there. 64-yard punt by Kent State. Can their defense respond, or will Florida State continue to roll offensively? In the first half with Thomas Castellanos at quarterback. Obviously, he played the whole game against Alabama and played most of the first half against East Texas A&M 2 weeks ago. Florida State coming off a bye. Castellanos goes to the air, takes a deep shot, and hauled in by Micahi Danzy, already in Kent State territory. The 400-meter record holder in the ACC gets a 47-yard grab.
Micahi Danzy, he runs a post route versus quarters coverage, and the defender comes over, but he doesn't track the ball well, and Danzy goes up to grab it at the highest point.
Castellanos keeps it and tripped up just short of the 40-yard line by DJ Barnes.
Micahi Danzy, he's just putting his speed on display and runs right by Muhammad, and the defender backside almost made the play, but it didn't matter because Danzy believed in himself and he hot pointed it, and he made a heck of a grab.
2nd and 3 for Florida State. They hand it off, and they pick up the 1st down. This time Samuel Singleton Jr. gets the carry. We saw him against East Texas A&M in the 2nd half, but getting some early carries here.
Yeah. They were very high on this young man. They say he's an explosive player.
And Singleton this time chopped down after a gain of 4.5.
I believe that after last game's performance, he earned himself some additional reps coming into this game.
They will mark him down a little shorter than that. The referee has walked it back a little bit, so it'll be a 3-yard gain officially. 2nd and 7 upcoming. Castellanos changing the play at the line of scrimmage. Sawchuk back, bounces it outside, breaking a tackle, gets near the marker, and they'll give him enough for the 1st down. Down to the 27-yard line.
Sawchuk just doing a real good job at running behind his pads and keeping his legs running and moving through contact.
So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 27 for the Noles. 4 for 62 for Sawchuk already. They go to the air, on time and complete to Boggs near the marker, and they'll give him the first down.
That's a run pass option by Castellanos. He saw the defender blitz, there created space, and he found his guy Boggs for a first down in that slant window.
So 1st and 10 from the 17 for Florida State. Again, moving with ease thus far. Boggs, by the way, a Gus Malzahn recruit at UCF, says he's ahead of schedule already, the freshman. Sawchuk bullies his way forward for a gain to the, let's call it the 13-yard line approximately, 5-yard gain.
This Kent State defense is really on their heels. They haven't quite been able to settle in because it's one explosive after another. They need to impact Florida State's offense on 1st or 2nd down to have a chance.
Castellanos with time. Now he's going to run for it. He's got a clear lane. End zone touchdown. Thomas Castellanos with the 12-yard scamper, and the Noles up 2 scores.
This is why they're a dangerous football team. Who do you choose to stop? Castellano is so mobile that he's able to avoid the pressure up in the interior. He found a lane, and then he found the end zone right afterwards.
8 plays, 95 yards, 3:23 off the clock for Florida State. Florida State, and we have flags on the field.
Snap infraction. Offense number 32. 5-yard penalty. Still the try.
So they snapped it to Marquiston Douglas, and that's the snap infraction. Marquiston Douglas, the veteran tight end, 5th-year senior out of Brownsville, Tennessee. So Florida State, by the way, has scored on 22 drives. Or excuse me, they have 22 drives on the season. 18 times they've scored thus far. That's touchdowns and field goals. Low snap. Weinberg boots it through, though. 14-0.
When you're rushing against this Florida State offense, if you're a defensive lineman, you have to balance the rush. Castellanos will make you pay, and he did that right there.
Victoria Arlen with you here in Tallahassee. A quick start for the Seminoles. And Kent State and their defense reeling. Jake Weinberg to kick it off for Florida State. Wayne Harrison, Dorelis Clark, number 30, back to return the kick. Dorelis Clark, one of 8 children who were adopted by his mom, Josie. Let's get to know Kent State here a little bit. So here's Drew DeShields. The offense didn't look bad, Rod, other than that bad snap. DeShields is going to take a deep shot. He's got a man. It's caught. Deshaun Martin headed to the end zone. Touchdown. 75 yards. A little deception there by DeShields.
What an answer to come out from DeShields in this offense. And it was just that, George. He gave a run fake, very clever with the football, holding it and then coming back and finding Deshaun Martin over the top. And that, again, has to address the defensive backs. Poor eyes. They went upfield too soon, and the result is a touchdown.
Risco for the extra point is up and good. And just like that, Kent State is showing some fight, Rod.
We talk about the details. DeShields with the tuck, receivers showing blocking hands. The hands are a lie, and Kirkland found himself, unfortunately, not looking at the right man, and Martin turned it into 6.
Mark Carney, their interim head coach, as we talked to him before the game, we talked to him about process, right? He feels like they're close. They're playing 56 guys this season thus far. They have not been near that number in a while because this program has hit hard times. But he feels like that game, even though they lost against Buffalo, that they were right there, and they have shown progress each and every week, especially considering they went to Texas Tech and got throttled. But what he mentioned to us was, yeah, we were wide-eyed, had no idea what we were getting ourselves into in that first half, but we played them even in the second half, 14-14, and he felt that would help them here.
He spoke very highly of that and felt confident in his group walking into this stadium that they've learned their lesson from last time after the Texas Tech experience. And right now, they're making this a competitive game and a great way to answer after a tough start.
Kickoff in the end zone. Let's check in with Victoria.
You talk about process. I also talked to Coach Carney about the preparation for this week in particular. He told me that the only music they are playing every single practice is the Florida State fight song. Every single version they can find on Apple Music, on Spotify, you name it, and the loudest speaker is right near their quarterback.
Yeah, listen, you can't replicate that stuff. You can do your best in an environment like this, but again, Mark Carney is not leaving anything to chance. He is worried about every little detail, and I wouldn't be surprised if this is a team that does well in the MAC this year, and also Mark Carney gets elevated to being the head coach full-time. So 14 combined points in the last 11 seconds of this game. Castellanos goes to the air. He goes deep. He hits his man in stride. It's Danzy again, down to the 10. A 65-yard connection from Castellanos to Danzy.
Again, one-on-one on the outside. This time they go to the other corner, Rollison, and Danzy just has too much speed. These cornerbacks have to give a little bit more cushion when you're lining up next to Danzy.
Castellanos keeps, breaks a tackle, and walks into the end zone for a touchdown. A 10-yard score for Castellanos, and Florida State wasting no time, taking a 2-score lead again.
Why not call your leader's number again in Castellanos? This is a design QB run around the side, picks up good blocking, and he does the rest himself.
2 plays, 75 yards, 35 seconds off the clock. Extra point is up and good. Jake Weinberg. We've got a barn burner here. These two teams putting up points very quickly.
Yeah, this poor tackling by the Kent State defense. Castellanos is too strong for that.
Two-time state champion, the 200 and 400 as well when he was in high school. Getting his first start at receiver today. Weinberg boots it. And let's see what Kent State can do to answer.
Well, they answered the right way last drive. First play, touchdown. They're going to need more of that if they want to stay involved in this game. And honestly, I like the way DeShields is attacking this Florida State defense. He's not shy. The offensive line is actually giving him some time. And so let's see if they do more of that, where he can find some connections with his wide receivers on this drive again.
And their best offensive lineman, their center Dustin Morell, is not in this game. Ashton Rivera is starting at center. Jackson Dunn is at right guard, where Rivera normally plays. Gavin Garcia makes a man miss. Shifty in the backfield, pushes forward for a 5-yard gain. 2nd and 5 upcoming. Darrell Jackson brought down Garcia.
That was interesting. DeShields saw the pressure coming off his right-hand side. I thought he was going to can it and go the opposite way. He ran it right into the pressure. That blitzer has to find a way just to settle down, throttle down, to hold that edge a little better.
2 tight ends set for Kent State. The golden flashes. You see those Charger-like helmets that they're wearing today. old school Charger-like helmets. Garcia again on the ground, and this time met at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. Jabril Rawls back in action today after injury, chopped him down.
Really good tackle by Rawls. As a corner, you can't just cover. You have to come up and be physical too when needed. Big third down here for DeShields and company. I'll be expecting Tony White to send some pressure, make it uncomfortable for DeShields.
3rd and 5 for DeShields and company. DeShields incomplete, intended for J.J. Etheridge. And the Golden Flashes will be forced to punt again. And you see Coach Carney chatting with his quarterback.
Yeah, it looked like there was a double slant concept that he was trying to throw. The receiver got cut off by Jerry Wilson there. Just real good coverage.
It's a 3 and out for the Golden Flashes, their 2nd of the game. Durkin boots this one, spiraling punt, taken by Lucas, going backwards, and taken down at the 16-yard line. A 47-yard punt, 7-yard loss on that one. Martell Buchanan wrapped him up. Let's take a look at that last drive by Florida State. If you blinked, you didn't see it.
Yeah, they score in a hurry, and it's because they generate a lot of explosive plays. I mean, to go 90 yards, you would expect them to take a few minutes. They took 30 seconds, and next thing you know, they're in the end zone.
Castellanos and company, they'll have the sophomore from Miami, LaWayne McCoy, number 7, check in at receiver. Mike Norvell was talking him up a ton leading into this game, said he would get some playing time, and we're seeing him early today. Castellanos on the run and takes a hit. Short gain there. Only 1-yard gain for Castellanos. 2nd and 9 coming up. Florida State in the first quarter, their last 2 games, 6 drives, 6 TDs, Rod.
They're very efficient, as I said earlier. As a defense, you have to find a way to slow them down early, because once they get in the rhythm, they're dangerous.
Cam Davis now in the backfield, but Castellanos keeps, and this time wrapped up in the backfield by Jamon Mathis. One of the guys they said to keep an eye on, this coaching staff from the Golden Flashes, the redshirt sophomore, they said he's just starting to scratch the surface at how good he can be. 3rd and 12 for Florida State.
Good job at creating a negative play on 2nd down. Now you give yourself a chance on this 3rd and long situation. What you have to do right here is you have to play top down as a defender, rally and make the tackle.
Castellanos with time, throws to the sideline, complete at the marker. Will he have enough? Yes, 1st down. Complete to Javen Boggs, the freshman.
That was too much cushion given on the outside by the defender, and the receiver just sat down right at the sticks.
Castellanos back to the sideline, and this time met immediately. It was Boggs again with the catch. An 8-yard gain. Florida State going fast. 2nd and 2. High-paced action here in the first quarter. Castellanos wants it all, and too far for his intended target, Boggs. So 3rd and 2 upcoming.
Boggs, I believe he was pushed out of bounds on that play, and so that would have been a penalty anyway if he would have ended up catching it.
Yeah, official threw his hat because he ran out of bounds. So 3rd down and 2. They hand it off to Sawchuk, and Sawchuk will have the 1st down just barely.
Gavin on the carry.
So Florida State moving down the field. You see some more substitutions being made.
I was very surprised by Kent State's choice of defense on that last play. They were still in a 2 shell, but it's 3rd and 2. I mean, everything says run. You got to get tighter. More guys in the box to be able to stop Florida State.
They give it to Sawchuk on a reverse now, going the other way. Florida State, a lot of green grass there for Danzy. He turns the corner. See you later. Touchdown, Seminoles. 64 yards. Danzy breaks records in the ACC in track. He's breaking Kent State hearts tonight.
Gus Malzahn is a confident coach. This is the same play 3 plays ago that the Golden Lashes broke up, and he said, you know what, I'm going to run it again. And he just picked up some good blocking. And again, he's running the 200 around the corner, and once he picks up speed, I mean, he picks him up, puts him down better than anyone right now that I've seen in the country.
The 7th play of 50-plus yards this season for Florida State. Extra point is up and good. 28-7. Florida State over Kent State. Rod, this team, and I understand, the level of competition here is not necessarily on par. I understand that. But when you play a team with lesser talent from a smaller conference, you're supposed to do this, and Florida State looks the part for sure thus far this season.
They passed the eye test for me as I looked at them closely over their short season thus far. You see this repeatedly. It doesn't matter if it's Alabama or it's Kent State. This offense is special, and they have a lot of talent around them.
When we talked to Mike Norvell this week, you know, it's funny, we asked him about what they did during the bye week, and he said, look, competitive situations, 2-minute drills, special teams, you know, crowd noise, re-emphasized that this is about them, no matter who the opponent is. And because you think about it, they haven't done any of that stuff, particularly the 2-minute stuff. They haven't had to do it yet this season, even against Alabama.
They're very intentional behind the bye week. He set up competitive situations like you spoke about, things that he knows are going to come up very soon. Even though we haven't experienced a game like, I'm going to create that game-like atmosphere for you at practice, and we're going to be good on good, and it's going to pay dividend for us.
The ball blowing off the tee because the winds are picking up. It looks like some storm may be rolling through, but Danzy has been electric to start this one. The track star in the ACC, we've already highlighted, broke the ACC record in the 400. You'll see it here. And then today, man, he has been incredible. This is against Alabama earlier in the season. East Texas A&M, sorry. 2 weeks ago before the bye, and then today. Garcia showing some shiftiness, a flag on the play though. A gain of 4, but we'll see what the laundry's about.
Personal foul, face mask, offense number 89, 15-yard penalty, replay first down.
That's Tariq Mulder, the redshirt junior, who had a touchdown last week. And Mark Carney can't love that. You can't afford any of those kinds of mistakes in a game like this. You're already down 3 scores. You're on the road. You're outgunned. Outmanned. So 1st and 23. Garcia. Garcia pushing forward, though. Gets to the 20. A gain of 8 on the play. KJ Sampson with the tackle.
Garcia, he's a physical runner, and he does a good job at just low center of gravity as he runs.
He's a tough runner. They've talked about since they've gone to the outside zone. He's another kid who dealt with an injury last year, much like DeShields. Didn't play much. DeShields rolling out, hit as he throws, incomplete, as it hit one of his offensive linemen, it looked like. Mandrell Desir, the freshman, popped DeShields.
Desir is a young man with a lot of motor. He keeps going, and he flashes on tape a lot just for second effort plays just like that.
Change in the backfield on 3rd and 15 for Kent State. We have another flag on the field, this one at about the 15.
Intentional grounding, offense, number 12. The penalty is a spot foul. It includes a loss of down. It'll be 4th down.
Yeah, well, I mentioned he threw it to one of his offensive linemen. So I was wondering if there was a receiver in the area that I didn't see, but doesn't look to be the case.
No, not at all. Just a sense of panic and threw it to the first white jersey he saw. Unfortunately, that's ineligible.
So 3rd and 23. They toss it to Mulder. Not much there. Quindarius Jones chased him out of bounds. Says, no way. Not on my watch.
This drive was stalled out for penalties, mental mistakes, things that are sending you in the wrong direction. And again, you can't do that. You can't beat yourself when you play a team like Florida State.
3 and outs on their first 4 drives. They have the 1 touchdown to Deshaun Martin. Durkin out of his end zone again. They had a punt block last week against Buffalo. Florida State lining up like they're coming after it. And whistles on the field.
Go ahead, Gabe. Offense, 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
Oh, boy.
Coach Carney is not happy with his unit right now. And now, if you're Golden Lashes, you're pinned on your 7. You know pressure's coming from this FSU special teams unit. So it's imperative for you to block before you get out in coverage.
So 4th and 27. Now Durkin is back deep in his end zone. Florida State comes after it, almost gets it. Lucas will let it bounce and rolls out of bounds at the 47-yard line of Kent State. A 39-yard punt, no return. How close did they get?
Yeah, they overloaded the punter's right side. And normally you tell your punter when you're in a backed up situation, you can't take the same approach. It's more of a 1 step and get it out fast. Durkin, unfortunately, he took the same approach and it almost cost him.
So Castellanos and company roll out again. We talked to Mike Norvell about Castellanos. He said night and day from his time at Boston College. And he said, look, the investment on the mental side, when you have a QB that's athletic, he gets labeled. But he's been studying, and any bad plays or decisions, he's owned them immediately. We have a timeout on the field for Kent State. If you're Mike Norvell, coaches are always going to find little things, right? I'm sure they'll discuss that touchdown pass that Kent State had to Martin. But overall, you have to be fairly pleased. I mean, the big strike, quick strike offense that they've had, big plays, big chunk plays down the field. Offenses look fantastic, and the defense outside of one play has been marvelous.
You're picking up right where you left off. You never know as a head coach after a bye week how your team is going to respond, especially the year that Florida State has had. There's a lot of chatter about this team. But there, again, he's preached response. And again, they've shown up today with the right one.
177 yards, rush yards for Florida State. And another run here by Sawchuk. 9-yard gain. They're going fast. Castellanos on the run again and slides near the 20-yard line. Picks up the first down, flag on the play at the 15. 17-yard gain. Let's see if it holds.
Personal foul. Defense. 15-yard penalty will be enforced half the distance to the goal. It's an automatic first down.
They didn't give us a number, but it looks to be Buchanan. Martell Buchanan.
I don't know about that one.
You didn't like that call?
I didn't really like that call. He was already engaged with Castellanos. I don't know what you could do more as a defender there.
So it's now ball on the 11. First down. Sawchuk to the outside and hit out of bounds by C.J. Young. So second down and 1, it looks like. They will mark him out at the 2-yard line. Sawchuk stretches forward. Touchdown. What a first quarter by Florida State. Aiden Burgess had him for a second, but he broke that tackle and then extended for the score.
Sawchuk just with the second effort. He did that himself. He's not an easy man to bring down. You're going to need more than one defender to stop Sawchuk.
.88 yards for. He's not wrong about it, Rod.
Absolutely. It doesn't get any more simple than that. It's just find a way to close the gap right now, and you get a first stab at it back on offense.
So DeShields and company will come out. Their first 2 drives, they didn't look too bad. They got the big score, obviously, on the one big play to Martin on the explosive. And on their first drive, really, it was an issue with a snap that cost them some yardage, but they were making connections with their receivers despite that. Garcia in the backfield, pistol formation for Kent State. Garcia, and this time wrapped up quickly by Darrell Jackson, about a yard gain there.
Yeah, Darrell Jackson is one of those enforcers up in the interior. He's a big man, and he does a real good job at using his long arms and disengaging when he needs to.
DeShields running for his life there. Throws towards the sideline, wisely out of bounds, incomplete. It'll be third down upcoming and long. By the way, for Florida State, 35 points ties a school record in any quarter, Rod.
Wow. That's all I have to say to that is wow.
They have 356 total yards on offense, second most by any FBS team in a first quarter since 2000. You have to go back to Middle Tennessee. Back in 2015, they had 369 against Charlotte. Let's see what this offense does for Kent State here. And they make a completion near the marker. Looks to be just shy to Deshaun Martin, who had the touchdown earlier. At some point, you got to go for it here, don't you?
Yeah, but Deshaun Martin, he was open, but what he did was he cut his route short. He didn't run the distance of the sticks, and so he left himself no opportunity to pick up the first down. Now they are a yard short because of it. But yes, 35-7 right now, you have to go.
4th and 1. Crowd getting loud. Garcia picks it up. Gets the first down. As he gets to the 37-yard line, Earl Little Jr. plugged it up, but a little too late, a 3-yard gain.
Very impressed by this offensive line. Everybody knows the run is coming, but they just clog it up. They all work in unison, and they allow Garcia to find some space on that left side of the offense.
So their second first down of the game. DeShields throwing off his back foot deep down the field. His receiver falls incomplete. I feel like in a flag on the play at the 40, I feel like DeShields ran out of the pocket a little too early.
On the outside there was a double move, George, and that's why there was some interference, because he had him, but good thing the defender there got his hands on him.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 16, 15-yard penalty, and an automatic first down.
And that's Quindarius Jones with the infraction. Dorelis Clark was the receiver.
Yeah, Quindarius Jones, just a little too much contact on that play, cost his team.
Jose Kimbrough now in the backfield. That's Kent State's first play in Florida State territory today. They pick up about a yard or so, maybe 2. Daryl Desir on the tackle. We saw his brother Mandrell make a big hit on DeShields earlier, the 2 twins from Miami Norland High School.
The Golden Lashes should stay on the attack. You know, as a defender myself and being in the secondary, when you get hit with a double move, that starts to loosen you up just a little bit. You don't play as tight.
DeShields, another shot. No, incomplete. Wayne Harris, the intended target. Edwin Joseph bodied him up defensively.
Really good coverage by Edwin Joseph. Just a simple big box out of the slot, and he does a good job at facing the defender out, but also locating the football.
3rd and 9 for Kent State. 0 for 4 on 3rd downs today. I mean, this is 4-down territory, though, if you're Kent State. They've already gone for it once. So you just want positive yardage. And they take another deep shot, and too far from Martin. Are you surprised by that play, considering you're already gone for it on 4th? Now it's 4th and long. I mean, you got to go for it here. You're on the other side of the field, don't you think? And they're not.
Honestly, I thought he was going to take the option route that he had down here, but he opted to go for Deshaun Martin. And he had him by a couple of steps. He just missed him.
Yeah, and you see Mark Carney having a chat with him about his decision-making, I'm sure. Fourth punt for Durkin. Lucas. Oh, he gets hit. And the ball bounces in the end zone. No flags. Crowd not happy about that particular play. They certainly have to be happy with the scoreboard. 35-7 Noles.
Watching along with guys that I played with, so it's just an amazing feeling to just be a part of that group.
Speaking of guys you played with, hello, national champion Jameis Winston also inducted alongside you. What does that mean to be inducted next to your teammate and friend?
That's just like getting an accomplishment with my brother, and that's truly my brother. So to be able to go in and with him is very special to me.
Do you have any special or favorite memories from your time here?
My favorite moment is winning the national championship. You know, being able to face adversity with my guys and come back and win that game, that's one of the best moments I ever had playing football.
Doesn't get any better than that, except maybe a Hall of Fame induction. Congratulations, Rashad.
Thank you.
Guys.
All right, Victoria, thank you, and congrats to Rashad as well. By the way, he caught 9 passes for 147 yards, including a crucial 49-yard catch and run that helped set up the game-winning touchdown drive in the final minute. Kelvin Benjamin obviously made that big catch at the end there, and Florida State won their last national championship in the 2013 season. The game played in January of 2014. Deuce Robinson making his first catch today, picks up the first down. Or wait, they might be marking him just shy. No, they will give him the first down. Now, Deuce Robinson, we mentioned earlier, Rod, 160 yards in the first quarter alone last week. Micahi Danzy this week has done his best to do a Deuce Robinson impersonation. 2 catches for 112 yards. Not to mention, he's got a touchdown on the ground on a reverse, too. Castellanos fires over the middle and connects. Cam Davis out of the backfield. Take it down at the 32-yard line, a 6-yard gain.
Good job by Castellanos. He wanted the deep shot, but he didn't find it. He didn't feel good about it, so he just checked it down to Cam Davis in that soft zone over the middle.
Florida State continues to move the ball with ease. Castellanos back to the air, and this one intercepted. C.J. Young taken down in Florida State territory, and the Golden Flashes are still fighting, Rod.
They are indeed, and this is a big defensive turnover. And one thing about Castellanos, being such a short stature, that ball doesn't travel as high, and there he is capitalizing. Big play for the defense.
Where they beat FCS Merrimack. But again, they like what they're building here with Coach Mark Carney. Garcia moves forward, picks up 3.
This is Golden Lashes offense. You wanted to see positive yards. Positive yards. Go forward, not backwards.
Florida State has brought back their starting defensive unit. There had been some changes there. A reverse goes nowhere. They'll lose yardage on that one.
This defense is too fast for the reverse. I mean, guys are swarming everywhere. I didn't like that play call by the Golden Lashes. Look, you had some momentum on first down. Keep going at it. Quick game. Go forward, not east and west.
So here we go, 3rd and 9. DeShields to the sideline, complete, and picks up the first down. Ardell Banks, one of their big targets. They got 2 guys that line up at that X position. Banks is one, Sebastian Brown is the other, and Banks picks up the first down.
Good rhythm throw, just an outcut. The cornerback tries to gamble, looking inside and not at the receiver, and there he is for a first down.
So a 9-yard gain. Kimbrough in the backfield now with DeShields. Kimbrough up the middle. Picks up about 4. Jenkins and Little on the tackle.
That 3rd down conversion is huge for the Golden Flashes because they're starting to believe. They have confidence. And so they have to continue to generate more of that on this drive.
Garcia checks back in at tailback. 2nd and 7 for the Flashes. DeShields checks it down. Picks up positive yardage to Hopperton, the tight end. The redshirt junior, transfer from Rhode Island. So 3rd and manageable now, Rob.
Now as a play caller, you have more flexibility. You have the run pass option, and if you're now a defense, you have to choose. Do you go man to man? Do you go zone? And so you allow the defense to dictate what you call.
Third and 4. This has been the longest drive time-wise for either team. High snap. They get it to Garcia and met at the line of scrimmage by Justin Cryer. So 4th down and 4. You got to go for it here, right?
Absolutely, no question. Right now, I'm going to spread the ball out and look for one-on-one matchups. Maybe even a situation for Wayne Harris. He's a real good, quick stop and start type of guy and runs the option routes very well.
4th and 4. DeShields, he's going to run for it and taken down from behind. He'll lose one on the play. Elijah Herring brought down DeShields. Turnover on downs. Florida State takes over. We step aside.
Big play by this defensive front coming through. Herring, just keep hustling, young man, and you're going to be paid off. Big play.
If you look at the ACC in soccer, particularly women's soccer, a bunch of teams in the top 10. We have a run here by Chroma, the freshman, breaking tackles and lunging forward after a first down to the 43-yard line. That's his first play of the game.
Good patience by Cromer. Just picking the gap. Not finding much room there, but he slithered through. Was able to pick up a big gain.
2 tight end set for Florida State. Castellanos on his last drive threw an interception to C.J. Young. 420 total yards for Florida State. Chroma again. Chroma fighting for some more yardage. Chroma's a big kid. 6'1", 218 pounds. And when we talked to Gus Malzahn, he says he's as gifted and physical a runner as he's ever had at that age.
Cromer does a real good job at just running behind his pads and fighting for extra yards, making him hard to tackle.
236 yards on the ground for Florida State already. And they do everything on this offense with the run game, setting up the pass game. And a bounce to the outside. Chroma tripped up from behind. He'll pick up the first down as he gets down to the 41-yard line of Kent State.
Really good running and strain by everybody up front. See a lot of guys attached to the Kent State defenders, and that's what you want to see if you're Gus Malzahn in this offense.
20th first down on 33 total plays for Florida State. Castellanos on the roll, and that one batted down. Antoine Campbell Jr. got his big paw up.
Good job by Campbell at matching the hand of the quarterback to be able to create up 2nd and long here.
2nd and 10. Florida State's offense like a hot knife through butter thus far in this one. Castellanos on the play fake. Rolls, completes to Cam Davis, and he gets tripped up by the turf monster at the 33-yard line. So it'll be 3rd and short, 3rd and 2 upcoming for the Noles.
That's the benefit in having Castellanos is when you send pressure, he's able to escape and extend the plays. There he found Cam Davis and setting up a 3rd and short.
So Sawchuk in the backfield now. The receivers are Robinson and LaWayne McCoy, the sophomore from Miami. Sawchuk this time. Churning his legs, picks up the 1st down to the 28. 5-yard gain.
Really good running by Sawchuk, just getting downhill. And then he also picks up some help from his offensive line brothers.
He took Mason Woods for a ride there. Castellanos fires complete to LaWayne McCoy, that sophomore we mentioned earlier. Mike Norvell touting his work in practice and getting some early playing time. The true sophomore out of Miami. Oh, we have an injury. Castellanos hobbling off the field. And Kevin Sperry now checks in at quarterback. The true freshman from Denton, Texas, got some playing time 2 weeks ago before the bye against East Texas A&M. We saw him throw for 2 touchdowns. Sawchuk tripped up, but has the 1st down. Let's see what happened to Castellanos. Kind of got sandwiched there, yeah. So he's on the sideline. Obviously, worst case scenario for this Florida State team is. So we have a lightning delay, as lightning is within 8 miles of the stadium. So they'll be at the very least
together and warmed up again.
Singleton breaks free and into the end zone for a touchdown. Looks like Florida State's bodies are pretty warm right now, Rod.
They're picking up exactly where they left off, and the first play of the resume of the game, it doesn't surprise me that they go on the ground and they just find, again, right behind Luke Pettibon, creating room for Singleton, and it was pretty easily done, to be honest with you.
6th rush touchdown of the day for Florida State, 15th of the season. Extra point is up and good, and it's 42-7 Noles. You know, you mentioned the delay, Rod. Again, bodies warm, interrupted their flow. It's out of the norm. But Florida State, they are all business. Mike Norvell has taken a different approach, it feels like, this season with this particular team. He adjusted some of their training camp schedules heading into that Alabama game. He's talked about, as we mentioned before the weather delay, the way he's handled his practices this past week. With the bye week, they worked on 2-minute drill. They worked on special team stuff that they haven't had to deal with this season. So it feels like this team is ultra prepared regardless of the situation.
Well coached is the reason behind that. You know, Mike Norvell, Gus Malzahn, Tony White, these are great leaders. And so when you have great leaders in front of you, they're never going to allow you to waver in any situation. You know, you look at what they were up against right now, a delay, and now they come back. First play that they get back on the field, they score. That is a testament to the coaches, but also these players for their level of focus.
And with that touchdown by Singleton, Florida State has amassed 272 rush yards, their most in a first half since 2015. They boot it through the end zone, and Kent State with a tall task here, Rod, as they come out.
Very tall task, and again, you know, you're worried about how is this going to impact the rhythm, the flow of your team. And so right now, it's going to be imperative that DeShields, he gets into rhythm very quickly with his wide receivers.
So DeShields out there, again, made his first start last week against Buffalo. 3 ACL tears. He told Mark Carney after his third ACL tear, he gave him a 50-point perspective on what he needs to be held accountable for. It was basically a spreadsheet. And he told him, you know what, I'm going to come back and I'm going to be ready. He had never played a snap for this team. All 3 ACL tears had happened in non-game action. So they hadn't seen him in live action yet. But this young man showed the perseverance to return to the field. He won their off-season workout award for the hardest worker. So you want to talk about someone who will lay it all on the line for this team. Drew DeShields is that young man. I mean, this is the type of stuff that if you're a teammate, that's inspiring stuff.
What an incredible story. Talked about resilience, perseverance, to not give up on himself, not once, but 3 times to battle back. This is a guy, myself, that has dealt with 2 ACL injuries in my career on a pro level. And so my hats goes off to Drew DeShields because I understand the grind, the heart, and the level of confidence that it took for you to battle back and put yourself in position where you're on the field today.
Comes from an athletic family as well. 2 brothers, one played quarterback at a small school, one played baseball. Both are coaches now. Dad also a football coach, and mom involved in the school throughout his entire life. They hand it off, and whoa, taken down there as Garcia does have enough for the first down. Omar Graham brought him down just under his chin. No flags on the play, but a first down.
Really good cut by Garcia. You see that whole line shift and that stretch action, and he puts his right foot in the ground and gets upfield. Really good vision.
And for Kent State at this point, you want to look for anything positive. They've been talking about their process and making sure they get better and better each week at what they're supposed to do. And we see here Garcia chased down from behind. Not much there as James Williams tackled him. When we spoke to Coach Mark Carney this week, he emphasized that they got to make it about themselves, looking at obstacles and seeing opportunities for growth, and the team is certainly embracing it thus far this season. And this is another obstacle in their way at the moment here in Tallahassee, as there's a timeout on the field, this one by Florida State.
Absolutely. If I'm in the huddle right now, this Golden Flashes offense, I need to find a way to get Cade Warford involved in the football game. We haven't heard his name today, and it seems like it's a great time to call his number, whether that's on a handoff or that's down the field where he's made a lot of plays in this short season.
So we were told originally that they were going to take a 2-minute warning timeout, but it was Kent State who took a timeout earlier. There's Castellanos running back on the field, but they did not take the 2-minute warning timeout, but that's certainly a good sign to see Castellanos running, Rod.
Very good sign. Not only the people on that sideline, but everybody in the stadium.
Yeah, whoever was left certainly cheered on that one. And DeShields complete at the marker to J.J. Etheridge. Should have enough for the first down. He does. Yes, a 10-yard gain there. But let's get back to Castellanos, which, again, we saw him limp off the field. Then we saw him limp basically to the locker room. You see him running. I mean, legs were pumping and kicking. So a good sign, considering they're playing a Virginia team that does some similar stuff to this Kent State offense. That's something Tony White told us, their defensive coordinator, Florida State's defensive coordinator, earlier this week.
As in Kent State does run this stretch style of offense, and these are valuable reps for this Florida State defense. And honestly, Garcia's been getting positive yardage all day. And so, you know, if you're Tony White, hey, you want to correct that, but it's a good test for your defense.
Yeah, certainly Virginia runs the ball very well. And this one, is it an interception? Is it the receiver? It looks to be an interception to Jerry Wilson. Fought for the ball and ripped it away. Intended target was Sebastian Brown, and Florida State turns away the Golden Flashes.
Good play by Jerry Wilson. he stayed in a very controlled back pedal as he was able to make a break on the quarterback's throw. And DeShields is throwing across the field. And here you are, Jerry Wilson, making him pay because of it. But just a clean break, anticipating this curl route that they've been running the past couple plays. And that's what you talk about, route recognition. And he went ahead and benefited from it, getting a huge turnover for his team.
As a former DB who won a Super Bowl, I'm sure you're pretty happy about what he did there. Gotta love that, I'm sure. Sawchuk back in there. Sperry again in for Castellanos. Sperry down the field. Too high for his target, who is limping himself. That's Chase Lofton, the freshman from Omaha, Nebraska. And you see him on the ground in some agony. Here he is. Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
It just looks like something gave out.
Non-contact, it looked like. Sperry, play fake on 2nd and 10. Attacks the sideline again. Complete for a first down to Elijah Moore, the redshirt freshman from Oxon Hill, Maryland. Your neck of the woods.
Hey, George, I was just going to say that. Elijah Moore from Prince George's County, Oxon Hill, Maryland specifically. Good catch and grab on that sideline.
Florida State back on the move. Sperry has looked good in the opportunities we've seen him against East Texas A&M and here against Kent State. Sperry, pressure coming, and thrown down to the ground by Eamon Williams. Slammed to the ground, and Mike Norvell wants to call timeout. So, let's see the toss there, and Sperry didn't like that, but you saw one of his teammates immediately stopped him from doing anything foolish.
Yeah, Eamon Williams, big defender inside, and he hustled and made a good play on Kevin Sperry. I'm sure Gus Malzahn is talking to him about, hey man, I know you probably wanted to extend the play, but if you don't find anything, just throw it away. No need to take that additional abuse from one of those defensive linemen at Kent State.
Jalen Lucas checks in the backfield. And it's 2nd and 15, 18 seconds to go. Again, we will not take a halftime. The lightning delay served as that. Lucas looking like lightning there as he gets the first down. Down to the 25.
Really good play call by Gus Malzahn, bringing in Jalen Lucas and running a nice draw play. When the Golden State defense is thinking pass, they opt to run.
18-yard gain for Lucas. And more whistles.
Please put 9 seconds on the game clock. 9 seconds, please. It'll start on.
508 total yards for Florida State. Nine seconds to go. Florida State trying to tack on a few more. Sperry, pressure in his face, throws to the sideline, complete to Amari Williams, breaks a tackle and dives out of bounds with 3 seconds to go, picks up the first down. And one more attempt here for Florida State as they will send the kick unit out, it looks like.
I was yelling from the booth, boy, get out of bounds, get out of bounds. He must have looked at the clock.
So Sperry moving his team into field goal range, but Atiq Muhammad down for, he would not be responsive, but with his eyes open, it's at least one good sign. And of course, we all hope and pray for the best for Atiq Muhammad. Field goal attempt by Florida State with 3 seconds to go in the half. Jake Weinberg. His attempt from 25 yards is up and good. And that'll do it for the first half. He was upended during a play near the sideline. Transfer from UTEP, as I mentioned. Not only a football player, but a track star as well. Second team in track in Conference USA at UTEP. So hopefully we will have some word for you here before the end of the broadcast. And Mark Carney and his coaching staff will have to rally the troops here.
A tough way to get back out into this field after, you saw your brother go down, but the best way to honor him is to fight, is to push.
So you see the numbers for DeShields there a moment ago. And genuinely curious to see how Kent State responds after seeing one of their own carted off. DeShields to the air, complete for a first down to Deshaun Martin, who has a touchdown earlier in this game, a 12-yard gain for the Golden Flashes.
Good job in DeShields and going through his reads, not rushing, taking what the defense gives them, and finds Martin right there in the soft zone.
Gavin Garcia moves forward, gains about 4. So we mentioned Atiq Muhammad was carted off the field earlier. Let's check in with Victoria.
I just got word that Atiq can move everything and feel everything, but he is going to the hospital just for precautionary reasons, George.
All right, Victoria, so he's going to a local hospital here in Tallahassee. So that is good news. Certainly, it was a very scary moment for sure here. And incomplete pass there to Garcia on the screen. But Rod, that, I know 3rd and 6 is upcoming, but there's a young man who was down on the field for a very long time, and there was a lot of concern in this building. So Victoria's update, certainly a sigh of relief, at least for the moment.
Yes, absolutely. And not only for us getting this news, but his family, his friends that are watching, I know that has to feel good for them and head into a positive direction.
He's going to Tallahassee Memorial for further testing. 3rd and 6 for Kent State. DeShields throws on the run, incomplete, in and out of the hands of Ardell Banks. Do you go for it here?
I'm going for it. I'm going for it, but
they've chosen not to. Yeah, they thought about it for a second.
And then that's upsetting because DeShields did everything that he could. He escaped the pressure, and he found Banks. Banks had to come down with that ball.
Jalen Lucas set to receive the punt at his own 20. Charlie Durkin to punt it. Florida State got close to one. Buffalo did block one last week against Kent State. Lucas will let this bounce, and it takes a Florida State bounce and down near the 25-yard line. The all-new ACC PM, Monday through Thursday from 6 to 7 Eastern, and Fridays, a special 2-hour edition, football-focused edition from 5 to 7 Eastern, hosted by Kelsey Riggs-Cuff, right here on ACC Network and the all-new ESPN app. Kelsey doing a fantastic job hosting that show. So many contributors to that broadcast. I have seen Coach Clausen, I've seen Roddy Jones, EJ Manuel, so many people involved on our ACC Network product. By the way, speaking of Roddy Jones and EJ Manuel, you got to check out that ACC Network football podcast. A run here to the outside. It's Samuel Singleton Jr. Picks up a couple. You got a chance to check that out yet? The EJ Manuel, Roddy Jones? If you haven't, Rod, I'm telling you, it's must-listen stuff if you want to get yourself ready for each and every week of ACC football.
Say less, George. I'm in.
Let's go. Kevin Sperry in at quarterback again. here in the second half. Quick toss to the outside to McCoy. McCoy breaking tackles and getting taken down near midfield. Joel Cordoba eventually brought him down. A first down. 22-yard gain. And Sperry, we've talked about this. We saw it 2 weeks ago against East Texas A&M. He comes in, Castellanos goes out with what looks to be a lower leg injury. Seems to be okay as he jogged back out to the sideline after the weather delay. But Sperry has looked good. And here he is again. To Chroma, the freshman tailback, breaking a tackle. And taken down, slammed down just shy of the marker by about a yard, a 9-yard gain. Tevin Tucker, Powell drove him into the ground. But your thoughts on Sperry?
Sperry is running this offense very effectively, and there's no hesitation in Gus Malzahn's play calls. He believes in Sperry. He's making the right checks. He's making the right reads, and the offense is still efficient because of it.
Sperry, 3 of 4 for 55 yards in the air. They hand it off this time. Chroma weaving in and out of traffic. Picks up the first down as he's down near the 30. Chroma also impressive. This is a young man, Gus Malzahn told us, again, physically as gifted a freshman as he's ever had anywhere. And considering the type of guys Gus has coached, that's pretty impressive stuff.
Yeah, really good vision by Chroma, and he's agile. To be that size, to be able to move his feet in the way that he does and make defenders miss is impressive.
6'1", 218-pound freshman. They hand it off. And Lucas breaking free and taken down inside the 5. Another first down. It'll be first and goal for Florida State. Their 29th first down of the game.
I like Jalen Lucas because he doesn't get many reps, but he makes his reps count. Every time he touches the football, I feel like he picks up a huge gain. And he's small in stature, but makes big plays for this FSU offense.
326 rushing yards for Florida State at the moment.
All right, you got room, stay back, room to the goal line.
Cam Davis now checks in the backfield. Davis lowers his head, and he'll get down to the 1. It'll be second and goal from there.
No dancing by Cam Davis. Just get downhill right now in a hurry. I expect him to run the same play right back, even whether you go to the opposite side or you stick with it.
Davis muscling his way in. Touchdown. Florida State putting on a clinic.
Cam Davis, not a stranger of contact, says, give me the ball, I'll lower my pads, and the low man won, and he drives and fights for that extra yard and gets rewarded with a touchdown.
Jake Weinberg for the extra point. Their 7th rushing touchdown of the game for Florida State. Extra point is up and good. 52-7. Noles in complete control and dominating here.
It's a big game for the Hoos because it's the next one, but really it's an ACC conference play. And so if you want to change the outcome of your season, it starts tonight.
All right, time for our player spotlight, brought to you by Carvana. Thomas Castellanos today, 10 of 13 through the air, 205 yards. Micahi Danzy, the recipient there, had 7 carries for 54 yards and 2 touchdowns. Did have 1 pick through the air, but what did you make of Castellanos' day before he limped off with a leg injury?
Doing what he does best, make plays in any kind of way. And whatever the team asks, he does. And he's doing it by land or by air.
And Castellanos did limp off to the sideline, limped off to the locker room during the weather delay, and then ran back out as we resumed play, and the crowd cheered him there. So seems to be better now. DeShields tosses one out of bounds intended for Deshaun Martin. And there's Castellanos. You see his day. Let's check in with Victoria.
Guys, speaking of Tommy Castellanos, I'm down here right by the bench, and he is the first one to greet his teammates after they score, dabbing it up with all the boys.
All right, well, that's good, Victoria. Certainly good to see him out there. More importantly, when he ran out there, the way he sprinted out was impressive for sure. DeShields hands it off. Kimbrough picks up a couple. You know, the interesting thing is, though, when you look at this particular group, right? This Kent State team had a player in Cade Wolford, their wide receiver, converted running back to wide receiver, who was leading the nation in yards per catch. And Tony White, the Florida State defensive coordinator, told us, we got to know where he is all the time. We have not seen very much of Cade Wolford, let alone making an impact today.
Not at all. They have him circled and highlighted at all times, like you said.
And DeShields, that one in and out of the hands of Cade Wolford.
A tough day. And I believe that was his first target of the game. And it touched his hand, and your Cade, I know he's regretting not catching it, but it's hard when you don't get him involved early in this game too, especially because of how dynamic he's been for your offense.
So Florida State doing a good job of shutting him down, but he didn't help his cause there. B.J. Gibson's set back to receive. Florida State almost gets that one. Gibson will let it bounce, takes a Florida State bounce at about the 43-yard line. We will step aside. Florida State leading 52-7 here. Castellanos has certainly looked like a different player under Gus Malzahn and Mike Norvell. And an incompletion to Willie Suarez, the backup wide receiver. Brock Glenn is now in the game. Redshirt sophomore from Tennessee against East Texas A&M. Got in the game, was 3 for 3 for 56 yards and a touchdown. Glenn taking a deep shot and sails it over his intended target, Elijah Moore, the redshirt freshman from Good Counsel in Maryland. So here's Glenn's numbers for his career. He's been at Florida State for several years. Played when Jordan Travis went down a number of years ago. And Glenn going back, flag on the play, free play. This one incomplete, as Kent State couldn't haul it in, but Kent State looks to be offsides there.
Side. Defense number 58 was in the neutral zone at the snap. 5-yard penalty. Replay third down.
That all started because Kent State wasn't even ready to play football when Florida State offense got on the ball. And so now you hit a first snap and you're antsy because you weren't set and ready to begin with.
That was the true freshman, Darian Buklewicz from New Jersey. And here's Glenn showing off his wheels, picks up a first down. 8-yard gain.
Good job by Glenn by not wasting too much time, and as soon as you see an open lane, take it, get the first down.
Sam Singleton back in, got some early action in this one after some mop-up duty against East Texas A&M. And here's Singleton. Gets hit, but bounces off the defender and still pushing forward. Gets about 8.5 on that one. Missed tackle there by Kanan Williams.
What I love the most but hated as a defensive player is offensive line pushing the Pals. Florida State, you can tell They're taught that, they bought in, and they fight for every single yard.
And a punishing hit there after not much of a gain by Samuel Singleton Jr. Mason Woods, who is the leader of this defensive unit for Kent State. When we talked to their defensive coordinator, Brandon Cherokee Valeria, man, he talked about his versatility, allowing him to have success. Says he's the alpha. He's a straight shooter with everyone, his coaches, his teammates, no nonsense.
He didn't waste any time getting downhill. A real face in the fan type of tackle there as he stood up the running back.
Glenn on the keeper. Glenn tripped up and tackled from behind, but does have plenty there and more for the first down.
Glenn showing off his versatility in the zone read. Unexpected keep by Glenn, but the result is a good 5-yard gain and a first down.
So last year, Florida State's rushing attack, just about 1,000 yards. They got nearly 400 today alone. Glenn on the inside draw to Cam Davis. Davis lowers the shoulder, picks up the first down, and gets near the 5. Derek Jackson, the freshman, took the brunt of that one. 24-yard gain.
Cam Davis, this man again is not running away from contact. He welcomes it, and he delivered a massive blow at the end of that run.
And that one batted down as Glenn pulled from the running back on the RPO. Jaheen Roy knocked it away. There's the previous run by Davis.
A really good run by Cam. There was a large hole on that left side of the offense, and he saw it, he took it. But then the finish is what I love most about him. He's running with just authority and a purpose.
So Glenn, empty backfield. Singleton, the tailback, in the slot. The bottom of your screen.
Kent State, their first.
So Kent State wants to talk it over. We will step aside. It'll be 2nd and goal for Florida State when we return. Former WWE champion. And Kent State trying to tackle Sam Singleton. He's plowing through him like he is Brock Lesnar. Getting down near the 1. They'll mark him at the 2 officially. He was met in the backfield, and he dragged defenders, including Mason Woods.
I don't know how he managed to pick up some yardage on that play, because the Kent State defense met him as soon as he got the handoff.
Glenn, easy touchdown to Landon Thomas, his tight end, the sophomore from Georgia.
The tight end Landon Thomas comes across. He's been kicking out these defenders all day versus the run, but instead he went to the flat, and here he was for a touchdown. I know if you're Coach Cherokee, he wasn't supposed to be that wide open. Somebody lost their eyes and was playing for run.
Weinberg for the extra point. Up and good. The first passing touchdown today for Florida State. They had 7 rushing prior to that. Let's check in with Victoria.
Hey guys, I have an update on one of Florida State's own who they've been playing for. Freshman linebacker Ethan Pritchard was tragically shot in the head on August 31st. And the shooting happened when Ethan was driving his aunt home from a family gathering in Havana, which is 30 minutes outside of Tallahassee. But since then, he has been in a medically induced coma. And this week, there was a glimmer of hope, or a blink, if you will. Ethan was able to open his eyes and blink. And speaking with Coach Norvell, he told us about how the appreciation of a blink really makes you celebrate life. And from a personal standpoint, standpoint, from someone who was unresponsive for 4 years, fleeking was the first sign of hope for my family, so it really is an incredible step in the right direction. Of course, we're all keeping Ethan and his family in our thoughts and prayers, George.
No question about it, Victoria. And you heard what Victoria told us, that Mike Norvell passed along, just the appreciation one has for life when you celebrate a bling. And, you know, this young man was practicing 3 weeks ago and has been fighting for his life, Rod.
He's really put things in perspective. You can take nothing for granted, and that is the message that Mike Norvell is preaching to his guys, and it's a great sign, as Victoria told us about Ethan.
Of course, our thoughts, our prayers, all positive energy with Ethan Pritchard and his family. Victoria's got some more.
Yeah, that's been the theme with all of these Florida State guys, is playing for Ethan, of course, and even Tommy Castellanos said, look, wins are one thing, but we're playing for our brother out there, and that's what matters.
No doubt, Victoria. We have a new quarterback for Kent State. Nolan Good, the freshman, getting some opportunities. Nolan only lost twice in high school, and he certainly did a lot of winning, and they are excited to see what he can bring to the table from Avon, Ohio. And he can run it, he can sling it, and this is a heck of an opportunity even against the second team defense of Florida State.
It's an impressive record as a high school, and to come in this setting right now, this is a good time to take full advantage of the opportunity that's presented to you.
And you see there a little wiggle, but taken down at the line of scrimmage. Moves a little faster at this level. Jaden Jones brought him down. Now, Jaden Jones, an interesting situation as well for Florida State. He had knee injuries back-to-back years. Number 44, Jaden Jones, almost quit football. Tony White, the defensive coordinator, told us, man, it is fun to watch him play after what he's had to endure.
Again, another guy that's been through some challenges and understands, again, every play matters.
3rd and 10 for Good. Tosses it to Kimbrough. He's got some room and dives forward to the marker. Does he have enough for the first down? He does. So Good lured them in, set up the screen well. Not bad for the freshman.
Yeah, well executed. He held on to that ball as long as he could to give his offensive line time to get out in space. And there he was, finding Kimbrough, and then he did the rest.
Kimbrough, a converted running back from wide receiver. So him and Cade Wolford did the opposite. They tossed to Kimbrough here, and Kimbrough slammed down to the ground by A.J. Cottrell, a former walk-on himself, backup linebacker for the Noles.
Really good, clean tackle by Cottrell, just coming through with good penetration and then finishing it off.
Gavin Garcia back in, and not much there. Omar Graham Jr. on the scene first. No gain. So 3rd and 13 for the true freshman Nolan Good. Let's see what he's made of here.
They'll need to make sure that they buy him some additional time so these routes down the field can actually get to the sticks for him to have a chance at picking up this first down.
Good with good protection, gets it to Wolford, but short of the sticks. Has a 6-yard gain. Do you go for it?
Let's do it. You have to. It's 59-7. This is a good test for your offense. You know you're going to be in this position, but yet again, here comes the punt team.
Again, they thought about it. The offense seemed like they wanted to stay out there. So B.J. Gibson set to receive, and they send out the punt unit again. I'm with you at this point. You know, you want to see what you got there. And the true freshman showed you some stuff. Oh, Florida State bumps into Durkin, the punter. So Gibson running it back, but that one should be enough for a first down. Willie Suarez ran into Charlie Durkin, because it was 4th and 4.
Yeah, poor decision by Florida State.
51
Suarez.
51-yard punt, 17-yard return. But we'll see if indeed.
Personal foul. Roughing the kicker. Defense number 85. It's a 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
So the 15-yard variety of 15 yards, not just running into the kicker, which would have given them a first down either way with a 5-yard gain, but this one of the 15-yard variety. Do you agree with the call?
Yes, I agree with the call. Suarez looked like he tried to let up, but he had to put on the brakes a lot sooner. It's not worth it in this type of setting.
Certainly Mike Norvell not pleased with Suarez. Mike Norvell's a very positive dude. So for you to get him fired up like that, he just does not want to see those kind of mistakes. So Nolan Good back out there with the offense. And you know what? Mark Carney knows better than the broadcasters, because his team ended up with the ball anyway. And they pick up some more yardage there. Another 5-yard gain. This time to Sebastian Brown.
Benefiting from a poor mistake by the young man, Suarez. But here we are. Golden Flash is back on the attack. And the freshman gets another opportunity.
Good changing the play at the line of scrimmage on 2nd and 5. Time ticking here at the end of the 3rd. They hand it off to Kimbrough. Kimbrough picks up about 4. KJ Kirkland, who got the start today at safety, made that tackle. And that'll do it for 3 quarters here at Doak. 59-7.
You had some explosive plays early. You guys really answered the call. So we had a good week of practice, and you've been able to transition that here to the game. And just proud of the way our guys are going to work. Look forward to this next quarter.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
All right, thanks so much. Go Noles.
All right, thank you so much. 381 yards on the ground for Florida State, and Kent State there barely gets the first down. Jahzay Kimbrough. So they keep the chains moving, but Florida State, as I mentioned, 381 yards on the ground, 271 through the air, 652 total, Rob.
This is back-to-back games now for Florida State, where coming up on 700 yards of offense. That's a total package. They do it in a number of ways.
Good. The freshman sidearms one to Christian Berry, the tight end, breaking tackles and taken down at about the 22-yard line. A 10-yard gain and enough for the first down. Big hit by Donnie Hebert. Another former walk-on for Florida State, the junior from Gainesville, Florida, at the rover position. Just got his scholarship this year, Rod.
Another great story on this Florida State team. Hebert getting a scholarship because of everything he does on the day-to-day. Now he's out here flying around, making plays.
Good throws, nobody home.
And Hebert, if he turned around faster, he would have had an interception, would have been right on time. He's there replacing Earl Little right there in the middle. Just a little head turn right where he left, and he would have been gifted an interception.
So 2nd and 10 for Nolan Good. They hand it off this time to Marcus Hicks, who checks in for the first time. He gets to the 20, a 3-yard gain. Grant Fielder made the tackle for Florida State. So this is their 3rd running back, Hicks, getting an opportunity here. And, you know, Coach Carney told us they're playing 56 guys. And they want to establish some depth. Again, by the time they get to the MAC conference schedule, they've already played Buffalo. They feel like they can be competitive because guys have actual experience. Good sidearms one again. This one incomplete, but he was pressured there. Ardell Banks was the intended target. And it'll be 4th down. And will we see the field goal unit? We will. Will Risco. When we asked the coaching staff, how far do you need to be, or how close do you need to be, they said anything 52 and in, we feel good. And this one is only 38. So they're looking for some points here, the Golden Flashes. Risco kicks it and sneaks it in. So Risco gets his first field goal of the season. 59-10 though, Noles in complete control.
Found confidence after their comeback win versus Boston College, where they scored 21 points off of turnovers.
All right, Dana, thank you so much. We're looking forward to that one. First ever meeting, Rod. That's what you get when you expand. We have a kick out of bounds here by Kent State, so Florida State will have good field position. That's what you get now with Stanford and Cal in the conference. You're getting a lot, and SMU as well. You're getting a lot of these first-time meetings. Stanford got a win against Boston College at home. And your Who's, man, we were talking about Florida State putting up 700-plus yards. They did the same, as you heard Dana mention, against William and Mary.
You know, offense looking very explosive. With Chandler Morris, Jamari Taylor playing a huge factor.
Florida State has scored touchdowns on 19 of their last 22 drives here in the last 2 games. Grayson Labiad with the catch there.
Yeah, really good block by Jonathan Daniels, the right tackle. And when a big man gets out in space, you never know how it's going to go, but he did just enough to set him free.
Florida State now milking the clock a little bit. Inside handoff to Singleton. Bouncing off defenders, has it up for the first down. Florida State's schedule, Rod. We mentioned Friday. It was good to see Castellanos come back and run back out of the locker room after the injury to his leg, because they've got Virginia, your team, who's playing tonight against Stanford, coming up on a Friday in Charlottesville. And then you see Miami. Everyone's going to have that one circled for sure.
Yeah, you of course, you focus on the next opponent, and that's Virginia. You take the band on the road, short week. How does Mike Norvell's team respond in an unfamiliar element? Not the comfortability of your home stadium.
Yeah, first time on the road for the Noles. Zay Parks gets the carry and gets into Kent State territory. And to your point, that is going to be something new, right? They're going to have to go on the road in Charlottesville. Not the easiest place to play. You know, Charlottesville is the first place where Florida State got their original ACC win streak snapped. When they came into the conference in the early 90s, they had 29 straight wins and snapped there in Charlottesville. Jalen King checking in at quarterback now for Florida State. And you see him right up the gut. So your Who's have some history against FSU as we see the flash.
Get back to that this year.
Handoff up the middle to Singleton, spun around and down. So it'll be 2nd down and 4. Jalen King in at quarterback, the junior from Georgia, 6'4", 215 pounds.
That's a big quarterback. And Jalen King looks very nimble and athletic too.
Oh, and he collides there with his tailback and then gets hit pretty hard. Samuel Singleton and him not on the same page there. But back to Florida State and the schedule. So we know Virginia, and I know, all you football guys say the same thing, right? And I get it, it's your alma mater, and it is a short week. I get all that. But everybody in the college football world is licking their chops a little bit, thinking of potentially, depending on what happens tonight at Hard Rock Stadium, potentially an undefeated Miami team coming in. They beat Florida. Then they'll have Florida State. They'll be coming up here to Tallahassee, a potential top 10 meeting, maybe even a top 5 meeting, potentially, depending on how things shake out. Singleton bursts through. Touchdown. 37-yard score.
As you see, that's why Singleton's in this football game, because he has the capabilities to take it the distance. And there was a lot of room on that left side, and he hit it without hesitation.
Roy's on for the extra point.
That's the 8th rushing touchdown for Florida State. That is an FSU record. And Singleton, his 2nd touchdown of the game, 10 carries, 86 yards. Extra point by Royce is up and good. 66-10. Florida State, the ground game, impressive. You see Mike Norvell happy. First, Singleton has 2 touchdowns. And Mike Norvell pleased with his squad. It's Parents' Weekend here, so been busy here in Tallahassee. The game also had a weather delay earlier for 30 minutes because of lightning in the area. So many of the fans left, but these are the ones, the brave souls, who have stuck around. True fans sticking through to the end, Rod. That's how it works.
You have to love it. They love their Noles. They love football.
And as I was mentioning before the touchdown run by Singleton, they are looking to go to Charlottesville on a Friday night. And if they can come out of that one unscathed, as Nolan Good, the freshman, trying to turn the corner and gets taken down, not much there. And if they can come out of that one unscathed, and Miami can get through their schedule unscathed, they get a big one tonight against the Gators, an in-state matchup, ACC versus SEC. The records don't matter there. Florida State 1-2 does not matter. Those kids have all played against each other, and that would be the case here against Florida State. Miami and Florida State, a lot of these kids have played in the state of Florida against each other growing up at all the different levels, from Pee Wee football through high school and into college. Marcus Hicks and a face mask there. That one's an easy call. Tylon Lee, as his helmet gets ripped off. Hicks.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 96, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
A teachable moment for sure, Rod.
Yeah, absolutely. He did everything right up until the end of that play by grabbing the face mask, and I took the helmet off.
And you see Mike Norvell not pleased on the sideline. Hands on the hip. He gave an earful to one of his special teams players, Willie Suarez, earlier for a big personal foul penalty.
I love that about Mike Norvell. He coaches to the very end. until that clock hits 0, he's going to coach his guys up and coach them hard.
Nolan good, incomplete. Throws a dangerous pass there. It'll be 2nd down upcoming. Let's look at some of these surprises here in the ACC. Georgia Tech undefeated. And that's where they were ranked. Obviously, you'll see there in the preseason poll. NC State. Although, listen, man, Dave Dorn, last year to me was the anomaly. He's an 8-9 win guy every season. Cal's playing great. Jaron Kiave, Sangapolo Tele. I mean, some say he may be the best quarterback in the country right now, the way he's playing at Cal, that true freshman there.
There's a lot of surprises on that list, to be honest, like you said, but I've been most impressed by Georgia Tech under Brent Key and what he's been able to establish there at Tech, his alma mater, that real rugged style of play, and they really embraced it, starting with Haynes King, the quarterback, who's again been solid, been tough, been very helpful in their play.
Georgia Tech, an incomplete pass there by Good. Georgia Tech, 4th down upcoming, so the punt team will come out, you'd assume, yes. Georgia Tech in a battle right now with Temple at home, 21-14. So they've come off some big wins, and you got to deal with the letdown factor there potentially against a Temple team.
Correct, but at the same time, Georgia Tech's a type of team that just battles it out. They don't care how they win. It doesn't have to be pretty as long as it's a win at the end of it.
By the way, NC State, I mentioned we're 3-0, and they're trailing right now at Duke late in the 4th quarter, down by 12.
The ACC, it's very competitive this year.
Yeah, so even though a team may have a bad record early in the season, that doesn't mean anything. Yeah. But Florida State will be going 3-0 here pretty soon. And they get the ball back here on offense. Jalen King, transfer from Gardner-Webb in East Tennessee, getting his first Noles action. And he takes a shot down the field, incomplete, intended for the freshman Tariq Mallory from New Haven, Connecticut. It's near Victoria's neck of the woods. Last year, Florida State had 8 rushing touchdowns total. They've got 8 today, Rod.
They changed the way. Credit to Gus Malzahn for reshaping this offense, getting back to, again, that Florida State brand of football we're all accustomed to seeing.
Zay Parks on the draw, makes somebody miss, weaving in and out, gets to the sideline and picks up positive yardage. Nyland Brown chased him out. That's a lot of running for just a couple yards, but props to Zay Parks.
Yeah, made something out of nothing. Just keep going, keep trying, and something's going to work. He just outran the entire Kent State defense.
The redshirt freshman from Crestview, Florida. Went to Crestview High School. 3rd and 6 upcoming. Florida State, you saw there on that graphic, 7 for 7 on 3rd downs today. King gonna try to make it 8 for 8. He's gonna have to run for it. Flag on the play trailing. He picks up the 1st down, but there's a flag on the 16-yard line on the left hash. So we'll see what that's about.
Holding, offense, number 72. The penalty will force half the distance to the goal. Replay 3rd down.
That's Josh Raymond with the infraction. Oh, yeah.
Clear call. But as you spoke about, George, Florida State offense has converted every single 3rd down thus far, and that's because of what they do on 1st and 2nd. They put themselves in favorable positions, and that comes from discipline, playing mistake-free football and always going forward.
So 3rd and 15. They hand it off to Parks. He's got a big hole. turns the corner down the sideline, and they are now 8 for 8 on third down conversions. A run there by Zay Parks of 20+ yards.
I thought the Kent State defense was going to finally give them their first non-conversion of the day, but a defender there, he had a chance to make the tackle right before the sticks, and he didn't bring his arms and wrap.
That's their 26th first down today, rushing alone, which is a new school record for the Seminoles. 26 first downs on the ground. Parks again into the teeth of the defense, picks up about 3.
This Florida State team can be very dangerous, George, because of their effectiveness to run the football. You know, when you get into late parts of the game and you need to earn a first down, you need to bleed the clock. They've shown in this first 3 games they have the capability to run the football at will.
Jeremiah Johnson checking in the backfield with Jalen King. But to your point, Rod, on 2nd and 6, Gus Malzahn, who we saw a moment ago on the screen, he told us, you know, this offensive line has a lot of experience, just not together. As 3rd and 1 is upcoming. You know, these guys have played at different places, but they have not played together very much up until this season. But they have shown they were baptized under fire against Alabama and have played really well as well in the 2 subsequent games against lesser competition. But again, they've dominated that competition, and they did a fantastic job in that first game against Bama.
They're gelling right now, and they're firing on all cylinders. You can tell in the way that they move. They move as a unit, and it's all started by, like I said, Luke Pettibon earlier. He's at the center of it all.
And 3rd down, and they pick it up and then some. Jeremiah Johnson gets into Kent State territory. A 16-yard gain. Man, they are just absolutely dominating in every facet of the game. But you mentioned it, Rod, up front, it's just impressive. 768 total yards today, okay? That's the 2nd most in 25 years. In 2000 against Clemson, they had 771. And by the way, barring something insanely nuts here, they're going to break that here pretty shortly, maybe on this run. Parks driven down. Looks to have potentially lost a yard there.
It's hard to run the football in the way that Florida State does it. But when they do it, it's demoralizing as a defense to be on the opposite end of it. You know, and they've really constructed this team to win in the trenches.
And see timeout on the field as Mike Norvell wants to talk things over with his squad. Even coaching to the last minute, no doubt. We'll step aside. Defensive lineman Richie Leonard IV, who you saw there a moment ago, who was named to the All-State AFCA Good Works team on Tuesday of this week. For more on Leonard, let's check in with Victoria.
Here's why he got that award. Richie Leonard is all about giving back. 2 years ago, he started hosting a free youth football clinic back in his hometown, and since then he has welcomed over 600 participants, but he did not stop there. In October, Leonard will coordinate another project that is very close to his heart. 3 years ago, his mother Prashanda underwent chemotherapy treatments at Moffitt Center in Tampa, and he said how he saw how rough that it can be on people, and he couldn't imagine not having someone to go through that with the support system. So later this season, he is going to be going down to that same center and giving out packages to cancer patients there. And he is the definition of Coach Norvell's 3 core principles: service, sacrifice, and respect.
No question, Victoria. You love to see it. And, you know, Coach Norvell is a man that pours a lot into his players. It's interesting, you know, he told us a story about when Deuce Robinson visited him, you know, when he was trying to figure things out in the transfer portal. And he was here with his dad, and they went to Coach Norvell's house. And Coach Norvell is so forthcoming about how he wants to invest in these kids, and his energy is so infectious that they looked at each other and were like, is this real? And the more time they spent there, they realized, oh, this is totally real. And him and Deuce certainly felt comfortable with letting Deuce come here to Florida State, which is his alma mater. You know, Deuce's dad has played here as a fullback at Florida State in the early 2000s.
When players can sense that you're real and everything that you say is genuine and with love, then that's when you truly get the buy-in, and players lay it all on the line for you. And that's what we're seeing from Mike Norvell and his team. They've established a true relationships with one another. It's deeper than the game. And again, that's why he's able to coach them at such an intense level, but then love on them and praise them when they do good.
So Florida State's offense is done for the day. Kent State will take the ball here, and they will run it, and that should do it. Florida State on offense, 772 total yards, the most in 25 years. 495 rush yards is a school record. So Florida State dominates this one, breaking records, doing things they haven't done in 25 years, and most importantly, they improved to 3-0, Rod.
They continue to pass the eye test. For me and everybody watching, they're establishing an identity.